Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here. And indeed, I'm representing here Tallinn University of Technology. But I would like to give a bit broader approach to smart city concept, and especially from a concept from perspective of cities working together. And this is why I have labeled this urban challenges driven smart cities. We can also say that it's more like a problem-based urban innovations or mission-based urban innovations. There were different concepts for that, but this is the main approach I would like to introduce. I don't want to go into the details how I, as a researcher, as a scientist, how I define smart city, as it is like quite a puzzle term, and it means quite many different things for entrepreneurs, for researchers, for cities, and for ministries and so on. But on our hand, what I would like to mention is that why this kind of collaboration, both in terms of digital means, but also in terms of actual personal level, is important because when I did my doctoral thesis, in the case of cities of Tallinn and Helsinki, so in this northern European part, I discovered that quite many everyday services that have transformed into the smart services actually work only in one city, and the challenge there is that both cities, in the case of cities of Tallinn and Helsinki, they have invested into having novel smart solutions for parking, for example, or for public transport validation, or for also like digital signatures and so on. These are only 3 examples. There are actually hundreds of examples. But the challenge there is that what has happened, not only in this context of Tallinn and Helsinki, but also in the context of other cities in Europe, and also in the context of other cities globally, is that there is a quite extreme fragmentation and isolation between services not working interoperably from one city to another. And that means that essentially like this very positive idea of having 2 smart cities close by can end up a stupid region, at least from the technological perspective. And maybe like another example, the trend which is already ending or is in the later stage of development is the public transport validation within cities. I think everybody remembers from the time it was possible to travel, that every time you go to London or Singapore or Tallinn or Istanbul, wherever, you need to have like a new validation card, and very often it's linked to the city, although technologically it would be possible to integrate them into one card. And this is something which is happening as well, but it went first to the level that every city had their own card, and whenever you go to a new city, you need to have similar technology but a new card. And that means that if you go only once as a tourist, in most cases it's actually more convenient for you to just to pay in cash and go back to the analog solution, so to say. So this is the kind of a standing point, and I would like to introduce our Finnish Twin Smart City Center of Excellence as well, which is a newly established center by Finnish-Estonian partners, including Tallinn University of Technology as a coordinator, Aalto University from Finland, and also City of Helsinki and its innovation company Foorum Virum Helsinki, and also Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications from Estonia side. And jointly, we want to improve city environments by piloting new technologies, and we want to build ourselves into the world level research and development center. And for this goal, European Commission, mainly European Commission, and also Estonian government has granted us a bit more than 30 million euros to deliver it. So we started off from 2020, and we have been in the kickoff stage of setting up this center. And I really believe that you will hear more from us in the coming years. So we operate in 5 research streams, right? Research and innovation streams, and this also defines to some extent how we understand smart city as a concept. So we have built environment, energy, mobility, data, and governance streams. And we have key researchers from Tallinna University of Technology and Aalto University working on the more like a basic research side in those 5 fields. And in addition, we are also implementing large-scale and also mid-scale and small agile pilots in all those 5 fields as well. So we are combining like this kind of academic freedom in those 5 fields with more targeted hands-on pilots. So our big mission is to take research-based solutions to the cities. And to deliver this, we have introduced a large-scale piloting program. This is globally very unique because it's on one hand based on actual city challenges. We have mapped the challenges what the cities are facing in those 5 fields. And we have involved over 30 local governments into this process. And jointly, we have agreed upon with local governments on the top 10 future challenges what the cities are facing jointly. So we're not that much interested in what one city has an issue in, but and today, but we're more looking into the kind of future joint solutions in a perspective that are shared by cities on a more broader level. So this is where the research can help as well. And this is something we are investing altogether 50 million euros in the next still 6-7 years to come. And we have started 4 pilots already now from this year. And also another important aspect is that we are more agile and flexible in terms of planning and conducting those pilots as well. And the last component there is that as said, these pilots have to follow actual challenges of cities. And secondly, each pilot has at least 2 local governments involved as well. So this is something that we collaborate very hands-on with cities. A bit process as well in the like in the last round that we started with mapping the city challenges, and then we agreed up the 10 main challenges in a very broad consensus with 35 local governments. And then we went into the international idea competition that was open to everybody, and we got a lot of very good, very competitive ideas how to help cities to solve those challenges. And then we selected through different rounds 4 of them to be implemented from this year. And this is the work in progress. And we have just started to implement 4 large-scale pilots, ranging from digital or digi-audit, where cities of Tallinn and Tartu from Estonia are directly involved. And this deals with indoor climate of city-owned educational buildings. So approximately 45 buildings will be involved with new measurement tools, how to analyze and how to bring out, how to give more real-time dashboard information on what is the current situation in terms of indoor climate. Very topical indeed. Second pilot is about transport ecosystem management solution, both in local governments of Tallinn and Rae, and this combines adjustment to electric vehicles to be built into the automated shuttle buses, and then integrated them with a public transport system in up to 3 spots in Tallinn and Rae, and then making those also demand-based, meaning that it's possible to kind of in the specific parts in those pilot areas to order automated shelf bus for the last mile purpose on your home door. And that also combines different transport ecosystems and then contributes to this mobility as a service concept. Third point, also very important, is microgrids with energy storage, where cities of Tartu and Paldiski are involved from Estonia. And this contributes to the challenge that local governments have with industrial parks, with a very difficult electricity demand issues, meaning that industrial parks do not have enough electricity at least during some peak times, and then this microgrids helps to store it locally and connect it with the main grid as well. And the last pilot with the cities of Tallinn and Helsinki is about green twins, and this builds the kind of a digital twin into the greenery area and starts evaluating the changes in the greenery area within the cities of Tallinn and Helsinki with emissions and the kind of footprint of the cities, meaning that if there are more trees planted in the cities, kind of a general carbon footprint indicator gets better. If some trees are taken off, it gets worse. And we are trying to build this digital twin with a goal of that. These are the first 4 pilots from our side. And as said, we are also implementing the new ones starting from next year. So it's an ongoing process, and you will hear more about this. Before I end, I want to emphasize why Estonia stands out in terms of smart cities. Stands out mainly because all the local government databases in Estonia are interconnected with each other through data exchange layer called X-Road. Meaning that real-time inquiries to most sensitive databases across local governments, within one local government, but also across them, and also across with private sector and across with public sector is possible. And if one citizen moves out from one city to another one, this is essentially one activity thanks to this X-Road that helps to connect public sector data, and there are over 3,000 databases interconnected like this. And this means that Estonia stands as private internet network for all the databases what the local governments have, and no other country has piloted or tested or experimented this on that big scale. We're also experimenting quite successfully with automated vehicles. This is one picture with one French pilot in the western part of the city in Kadriorg that was very popular and very much demanded by the local people, but there are quite many follow-up projects after that as well. So it is a very good test ground in terms of automated vehicles, either shuttle buses or delivery robots, but this is something which is quite seeable already right now in the everyday traffic. And then also we have done several mobility projects between the cities of Helsinki and Tallinn, which are quite different from their setup, but they have a lot of commuting between the cities, even now during the COVID time, but especially before the COVID area, meaning that we have tested out various solutions how to manage city traffic from Tallinn to Helsinki and to some extent to Vantaa as well. Either it is dashboards for outbound traffic, either it is ferry traffic real-time ferry traffic, or either it is like a real-time dashboard for heavy good vehicles. And this is all from my side. I don't want to go anymore to Tartu as the last slide, as we just came from there. And I would like to thank you everybody for the interest. And please check out our website as well if you have any further interest in our activity. Thank you.